What is going on, everybody? We're here and we are live. And yes, it's a surprise appearance from Jay. Drunk 3PO is here in the flesh. He's in his Geeks and Gamers studio room that some people actually thought was real one time, even though it's just an AI thing. Jay, how you doing?
Uh, Good. Thanks for asking. It's Friday. It's Friday. I didn't know I was gonna be here today, but apparently Jeremy's live on another channel.
Yeah, Jeremy's
So
live on his other channel. Says fuck Daily. Who cares? Nobody gives a shit about that show. He's abandoned it.
Jeremy's
So
become a law tuber, apparently. That's
Jeremy's become a law tuber. His new focus is going to be law tube and whatever that other fucking like retarded wrestling channel he's doing. Cobra 199 DJ. I don't know what the fuck he's calling that thing. Where
it's
he's
a
just
law
gonna talk
tube,
about
man.
that.
Like if you want to hear legal analysis from someone from Alabama, that's the channel for you.
Bro, you cannot beat the legal and political analysis that is happening on the D-Day channel each and every night, Cobra Cast, right? Like, doesn't get better than that.
I agree. It's top
It's
quality entertainment.
It's like if someone is like, I'm gonna tune into the Drunk 3PO channel for like the hardest hitting, cutting edge financial analysis, right?
Probably not the best place to go.
But entertaining. But entertaining.
Yeah. I mean, when I read through when I read through Gina's lawsuit when it first dropped, I was like, anyone in the chat know what this is? Like,
I know how to pronounce this.
We went to the next paragraph, and I was like, I think that's important. Does anybody in the chat know what this means? And I was like, yeah, next time I'll invite someone with a little more knowledge. That's what we'll do. So hey, man, it is. I'll stick to just reacting to fat people falling and causing a ruckus. That's probably the highlight of my YouTube right there. That's peak Drunk 3PO YouTube right there.
Peak Drunk 3PO YouTube is just anything with Gina Carano in a thumbnail.
That or the Star Cruiser, which sadly closed. So
yeah, those are like your two big hitters. You know what I mean? When eventually you shut the channel down a decade from now,
maybe this year
those will be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
I want to do I want to do like that I quit video, like so many people have done. You know, I don't know if you've seen. No, there's like a whole channel dedicated to YouTuber I quit videos. It's kind of interesting.
Why even feel the need to be like put it out? Just stop making videos one day.
One last. I don't know. They seem to do really well. I think that's why. So I think that's why. So I don't even know what I would say. I'd be like, well, it's been a good ride. Thanks for the laughs.
I would just never. I would leave in shame and never say anything. I would make some announcement video about it. That's not what I would do.
I think the Drunk 3PO channels is slowly morphing into like just doing interviews, which I freaking love. And that makes me happy. So I'm happy.
What's your goal this year for the Drunk 3PO channel?
I have none.
I remember your goal from last year.
Get to 100K.
It was like your New Year's resolution. You're like, I'm gonna do it. In the first couple months,
I was motivated for the first month. I was motivated good for the first month, but then it's like, I mean, the honest truth is like people like you and others, just like you guys are like seriously on top of the grind with everything, and it's a lot of work. So I think more people would rather listen to your take than mine on the same topic, or Flash or Gary. Then so it was like, well, my live streams do extremely well, so I'll just keep doing that. Good. It's like whatever works, you know.
You go.
Whatever works. So no expectations this year. I hope my other channels are doing well. Like the History of Pirates channel does extremely well for such a small channel. So I'm very happy with that.
There you go. Cavatino Cavalryman Che says, Drunk 3PO. Nick Ricada gave you, Steph, and Ryan shout outs when he saw your names while reading Gina's case on Rumble. That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out, Nick.
I'm a footnote. Drunk 3PO got a footnote in that case.
Yeah, drunk 3PO. Footnote 3PO.
Yeah, that's it. I see how Ryan wanted me to quit rambling about my channels.
Yeah, I like asked you, and then I regretted asking you because it's fucking depressing. It's like,
No,
yeah,
man, I'm happy,
all
dude.
these
I'm
other
freaking
people
happy.
do this stuff so
I'm
much better than
freaking happy,
me.
man.
I'm
Listen,
just
the truth is, some people were born to do this. I've told you this for like years, Ryan. You were born to do this. Some people are just retarded, and that's where I fall. So I'm
talk
okay.
about depressing. Since you were born to be a YouTuber, God, it makes me want to fucking shoot myself in the fucking head.
Yeah, but that's good. It's good. It's good that
True.
you're so well at it.
It's good that I'm so well at it.
Yeah. I mean, you could be terrible at it, you know, and then like
I was just
wouldn't say that about
I was
you.
just thinking about the structure of that sentence. It's good you're so well at it.
It is. It's good. It is good. Come on, man.
That's good.
Bro, we're 6 minutes in and you beat me down for 6 whole minutes. Come on.
What gave you an opportunity to like talk about other things you want to do, and you basically just said you're giving up on the channels? I was like, all right.
No, man. Interviews, man. Interviews.
I saw you had Matthew Marsden, our man Matthew
yeah.
Marsden, who started his YouTube channel. We got to get him on daily eventually.
Yeah.
I talked to him when he was like thinking about starting it. So he's off to the races, man. Seems like he's having a good time with his channel. So
he's having a lot of fun.
Hell yeah. 6 foot Soka Saka for 199. Morning, you chum bucket lug nuts. Thank you. Tobias for 5. It's like watching Mad Money. I have no idea about finances and stocks, but damn if Kramer isn't entertaining. The only thing I know is whatever Jim Cramer says, do the opposite.
Do the opposite. Yeah.
That's the meme that currently
I think
exists.
everybody knows that. So
yeah, pretty sure. Speaking of Gina Carano, she's in this profile picture with our man Alex. Alex for $2, watching G&G daily on my birthday. Awesome. Well, happy birthday to Alex Slusher. We got to see him in MegaCon.
Yeah.
Shout out to Alex. Trash Talk for $19.99. What's up, guys? I graduated from basic training last week, and I finally get to watch you guys live, at least till they have us march to Chow. Glad to see you guys again, even if I'm a long-time lurker. Hail the 199. Hey, shout out to you. Congrats on making it through basic. I will tell you now, it will get worse. So shout out. Shout out to Trash Talk. Thank you for the super chat.
Depends on what branch, though, right? Or is it all just bad?
I don't know. I can only speak on my experience in the Navy. So
there you go. I have no experience. I was in the Civil Air Patrol.
Justin Maben for £5. Jeremy's 199 lub tuber. Lube tuber. Lub tuber.
Chris Gore in the chat. What's up, man?
Well, Chris Gore's got us in trouble for some of the shit he said in this chat. Some typos he had in chat the other day.
Really?
Yeah, he did.
He said something about chicks, right? Something like that.
Tried to.
Oh, okay.
Honky Tonk Man 199. I hate you, Jay. You disrespected me.
How? Spoken like the Honky Tonk Man. I respect it. He's your friend 1 minute and he turns on everybody. Then he smashes your head with a guitar. So means I did something right.
I don't know too much about Honky Tonk Man.
He's the greatest intercontinental champion of all time.
I only know about Honky Tonk women.
It's not bad.
They give me the Honky Tonk blues.
It's not bad that you're good at that.
David Smart for $5. Hey guys, hail the 199. Yo guys, I can't believe Disney fucking up. Every brand announced the X-Men series, and now I'm really worried about Deadpool 3. I mean, the Deadpool 3 stuff, I have no idea how it's going to turn out. Like I think it's going to be funny. I think it's going to do well financially. I think people are going to have fun with it because it's just going to be a bunch of fucking jangling keys and jokes and shit.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to do anything for the MCU. Jay, you were talking a lot about this Fantastic Four news that we got. You're excited for that?
I don't know, man. The thing is, it looks like they're trying to add Galactus, Silver Surfer, and then like now there's reports that Doctor Doom might make a cameo. It's almost like this is what they should have done after Phase 1. They should have closed the book on the Avengers, let people breathe a little bit, and then start off with the Fantastic Four universe. That's what they should have done.
You mean after Phase 3?
After Thanos?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Phase 3? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's was it?
phase
Yeah, that's
1
right.
concluded with
Avengers 1. Right.
Avengers
Sorry about that.
2012 or
I just
whatever.
put them all in one, like the Thanos story. Like I just put that all in one. So yeah, after phase 3, they should have just closed that book and then done this Fantastic Four. There's a lot of crazy rumors out there that it's going to take place in the 1960s, and I mean, which would be interesting. I mean, again, like that's what they should have done. Young Ripa made a video saying that he was wrong. Did you see that? Because he was like, I gotta admit where I was wrong, because he thought they were gonna cast all black people for
Yeah.
Fantastic Four. So he was like, well, I guess I was wrong on that. They didn't do that. So but man, if they throw all these people in the mix, it's maybe they're trying to restart something, maybe start some interest again in the MCU.
We've heard a lot of
totally
different shit.
destroyed it.
We've heard a lot of different shit about it, right? Because we heard female Silver Surfer at one point.
Yes.
We heard that Sue Storm was going to be the leader of the team. Now there's almost the entire movie's been rewritten since a lot of those things came out, so who knows how much of that survives. I just saw Chris Gore in the chat says I predict Javier Bardem as Galactus. I've heard that as well.
Yeah, can I share that screen?
Sure.
So like this is what so disappointed. Sure. But yeah, like that's what they're looking like, rumors. So I don't think that'd be a bad casting.
I think it'd be fine. I think Javier Bardem's a good actor. I don't like, again,
I hope they keep that haircut.
How they portray Galactus will be like the biggest question.
That will be
right? We've seen some misses with that before. So
yeah, that will be massive. And then of course this, like, you know, the Doctor Doom, it said will appear at the end of the film. So after they take care of Galactus, I guess Doom will show up.
So the thing is, the way it's being portrayed, it feels like the rumors about it being the period piece in the 60s are true, with the way that they announced it, with the logo they put in and all that shit. So that tells me that you're heading into this like pre-established team. It's not going to be like an origin story. It's like you're going to head in to this team that's formed. So a lot of these villains they may have already had interactions with and things like that. So Doom probably exists in some way, like already. I have no idea what they're going to do with it, and I have no faith that it's going to be any good at all. I think it's going to be a fucking disaster and a nightmare, but it's definitely going to be an important thing to what they're building for.
But if it takes place in the 60s, if they do the multiverse, oh man, this could be a headache on headaches. If they're gonna pull them into the Secret Wars, allegedly, god dang, it's gonna confuse more people than it will bring people in. If they make this like a standalone type, you know, universe, like series, where it's just we're going to be over here and not mess anything up with anything else, then maybe they might have something. But
obviously the TVA can go through space and time and like all this shit. So like if they need to like counter this threat, so they go back and they get heroes from this era on this world, like shit like that to pull them in. And that's kind of my view on what they'll probably do. But
it's hard to say. It's hard to say, but if they were smart, they would cancel everything else and just focus on Fantastic Four. That's what I would. That's what I would think. Just forget it even existed. If they canceled like Kang and all that stuff, I wonder if people would even care. Like if they would even. Give a fuck about it. That's what I'm saying. Like, would people even remember? Would people be like watching the movie? I wonder if Kang's gonna show up. I don't think anybody would care if they just said, "Hey, we're gonna pause everything." And we're going to focus on the Fantastic Four universe in the 60s and kind of build that out for like 5 or 6 films. And then, you know, go from there and just see what happens. So like that they could do that. I think that would be a smart move. But what do I know?
If it takes place in the 60s, you're going to have to explain why they never mentioned. Not if they're on a different fucking world.
Yeah, that's the problem with the multiverse. Yeah. It could be in Earth 17. I mean, who knows? Like, it could be anywhere. So
Earth 69.
Yeah, well, I was just throwing that out there.
Tomac for $50 says, I just saw that Vanillaware put up some character shots of the companions in Unicorn Overload. I just hope them foxy ladies are free enough for Tobis. I think you mean Tobias. Vanillaware put up some character shots from companions in Unicorn Overlord. That sounds like a furry ass game. I don't really know Tomac, but thank you. I'm sure Tobias is urgently Googling it as soon as he can.
I have no idea what that is.
So thank you, Tomac.
None.
What did you think about the Deadpool trailer having like the TVA? And what do you think about people who have no idea what's going on in the Loki series watching?
It's going to confuse people. It's going to confuse people. They're not people that they haven't watched it. They're not going to know what that is unless they tell it in a way which they give like a 5-minute recap of what this is. Like that's the only way it's going to work, you know? So apparently from, you know, listening to other people talk about this trailer, it looks like the TVA's like got a problem and they need Deadpool and friends to go in and like maybe kill the bad ones or whatever it is. So that they're going to send them through like different time periods to like take out certain people that are going to infest their, you know, their work. So that's probably what it's going to go. And if they explain it maybe in the first 5 minutes as to what it is, maybe people will be okay. It sounds like if somebody's probably thinking, well, if we explain it here in this movie and people watch it, maybe then they'll go back to Disney Plus and want to watch the Loki series and stuff like that because they'll have more fun with it. But that's not usually how it works. So it's not how it works. But yeah, I just think it'll confuse more people. I do remember like the first 2 Deadpool films never did hit that $1 billion mark. So
they're R-rated. That's a tough thing.
You wonder if these are going to cross or even get close to that as well. So
I think that with all of the cameos and shit, I do think, and because it's going to have been a while since like there was anything was actually or that people were interested in, I think it's going to creep up there. It's a tough call to predict a rated R movie will hit $1 billion.
Is it for certain rated R, right?
Yeah.
That's
what they've said. I don't think we've got an official reveal of it, but that's what they've said over and over again.
Yeah.
I think just the fact that they put a pegging joke in the trailer.
Yeah, true.
should indicate they probably will.
True.
They did drop the first F-bomb in Guardians of the Galaxy in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
That was such a big news article.
Yeah.
Guys, not going to believe this. F word.
Open the fucking door.
Yeah.
Chris
F word in the movie, everyone.
That's right.
I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm like, it's just like over these past few years, it's just there's nothing to be excited for about any of it. I'm at the point now where it's like I have to wait till like all you guys watch it, if you watch it, and just say, all right, it's worth a viewing before I even want to set foot in the movie theater anymore. There's just really nothing to see.
Well, I can tell you that I think Deadpool 3 is going to have more viewers than at least one of these Disney Plus shows that just came out, and that would be Echo. Because as bad as things have been for the MCU, it can always get worse, and that's what Echo was. Echo was a nightmarish disaster that Kevin Feige reportedly wanted to cancel, but they couldn't because they virtue signaled so hard about having a woman who's indigenous, who's deaf, and also an amputee, just like the quad. I don't even know what that would be. It's not the trifecta. Whatever it would be. You got 4 things there to be like, look at how much diversity we have. And it fell flat on its face, not because she was an amputee, just because it was that fucking bad. We talked about when it came out that even though the mainstream media was like, oh my gosh, look, it's #1 on Disney Plus and Hulu for a whole entire day, that it probably wasn't going to translate very well in terms of actual ratings. And it certainly didn't. Echo bombs on Disney Plus, worst MCU ratings. Woo. All 5 episodes were released at one time on both Disney Plus and Hulu. And we talked about it. If you release all 5 episodes, it's going to be more minutes for people to watch. It might rack up a decent runtime when it comes to the Nielsen ratings. But right here, you can see when it comes to the week of January 8th through the 14th, when they dropped all of the episodes, you got to go all the way down here to Echo at 731 million minutes watched, released on 2 different streaming services, Disney Plus and Hulu. Unfortunately, when you average that out across the episodes, It is the worst ratings they've ever seen. We can also add again the Echo's released on both Disney Plus and Hulu, so the numbers are even worse as the Nielsen charts measure both Disney and Hulu, as that 146.2 million an episode is shared between both streaming services. And this runs down all the other comparisons with all these other episodes that came out when it was just like the first episode. If you take that average episode, Miss Marvel, 249 million minutes. Secret Invasion, 461. She-Hulk, around 390 million minutes. Hawkeye released 2 episodes, which saw 853 million minutes. 418, 731, right? You see all these numbers.
Yeah.
Echo's down there, average of around 146 million minutes watched per episode. Complete rock bottom. This is what they wanted. They wanted to release it all in 1 week so they could try to disguise the ratings and so they could have people not talk about it for 5 weeks in a row. And so I guess they did accomplish their mission because it was a way bigger failure than a lot of people were letting on in that initial couple days.
What's crazy is like the initial teaser trailer wasn't terrible. They probably should have just left that alone. But then when they released like the clip of like her and Daredevil fighting and all this other stuff, you're just kind of like, all right, it's just gone bad to worse and worse and worse, you know? And then I didn't see a single episode. Like, so I just saw what clips were on social media. And it's like the more that they released, the worse it got. It's just like, you're not helping yourself at all with these things. So I guess if anything, this Echo took the crown from Miss Marvel, which was the Lotus. So 2 female leads are now at the bottom. 2 female diversity leads are now at the bottom of the list. Interesting.
Yeah, very, and I think the next lowest after that would be She-Hulk. So
3 female leads.
Yeah. And She-Hulk is a person of color. She's green. So, it's not looking good when it comes to diversity on Disney Plus. Not a big demand for it. But one of the bigger problems is, one, they changed the entire character from the comics to make her powers all about the fact that she happens to be Native American and happens to be related to other powerful Native Americans in history. This person, Alako Cox, is not an actor. So she's not an actress. She literally got the job because she's indigenous and she's deaf. That's why she got the job. She's never acted in anything before in her entire life. And this face right here, that is her throughout the entire series. And when you can't speak, right, when you're just signing, you have to at least be able to emote. You have to show people what you're going through. She couldn't. Yeah. So like across every level, this show was a failure. And the fact that they released all episodes at once, jumped them on both streaming platforms, you knew that was a real indication that they had no faith in it.
But it's also
for good reason. It was bad.
It's also, I mean, like for her to just have that resting face, it's a director's fault too. Right? Like everybody in the production takes the blame for this. Correct or no?
Guess whose fault it really is? Whoever decided to hire somebody who's not a fucking actress simply because this person's Native American and deaf and we want to have authenticity when it comes to the deaf part of this. So you hire someone who has no fucking experience for a show that was not necessary and not needed, that you only wanted to do for diversity points. You only wanted to do it for the woke agenda check boxes to brag about how inclusive you are, that we made a show featuring a female, indigenous, deaf amputee. Aren't we amazing here at Disney? That's the entire reason why this was made, not because it was a story that needed to be told. So when that's your approach, both in front of the camera and behind, it is a crapshoot if you're actually going to make anything successful. And more often than not, it doesn't happen because you continue to hire people who aren't qualified at what they're doing.
Everybody gets the blame on that one. Have you ever been around like a deaf party? Like where there's a lot of deaf people?
No.
I don't know if that's on your list, but
not particularly.
So it was either City Walk or Downtown Disney several years ago, where they had some kind of like deaf convention that I just happened to stumble across, and there's a lot of like interesting noises and stuff that you hear. So I don't know how this relates to any of the story, but like talking about like deaf people just kind of triggered that memory. So,
well, you have to
there's a lot of noise. It's
you have
not
to do an
quiet at all.
example.
Like,
You have to
people
do
are screaming, and people are like, there's a lot of screaming. You
they
don't know what's going on.
It's because they don't know how loud they're being.
Yeah, exactly. Just
Can you make any examples of some of the noises you heard?
I don't know. You just like, you're walking and you just hear like screaming, and you're just like, what is going on? And it's like, you turn around and it's like they're signing, but they're also like trying to speak at the same time. So,
and you don't have any recollection of what that sounded like?
I don't want to make that noise. It was pretty.
Why?
There's a lot of eeps, beeps, and weird noises. So that's all.
Okay.
I should have recorded it. It would have been like, it's such an interesting adventure.
I think the chat's going to probably be pretty disappointed that you brought this up and weren't willing to provide an example.
I don't know, just put your fingers in your ears and start screaming. That's what it sounded like. I
put my fingers in my ears, that I'm not going to be able to hear it.
Well, exactly. So you won't hear, like, you will hear, but it just sounds muffled. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So Jay doesn't want to get clipped at 100%. That's why I'm not doing it. I've been clipped enough already this year.
Okay.
It's an interesting. It's quite the adventure, you know. You actually upset a lot of deaf people last year because of captions, I think. So that's why I was just wondering if like you went to a deaf party to understand the culture a little bit more. That's all.
Yeah, so one deaf person got really fucking triggered that we didn't put manual closed captions on Sports Wars videos. Yeah. And they showed up in the chat and said something, like in the live chat, and they said something about, like, how am I going to fucking control any of that in a fucking live stream? So I went off on this motherfucker. I just cussed him out and shit. And luckily, he couldn't hear me.
He didn't hear you.
So it was okay.
He saw your mouth moving, but didn't understand the words.
Yeah, read my lips. Go fuck yourself is what I said.
Also, speaking of deaf people, me and Ryan had an adventure with deaf lesbians at Universal for about 10 minutes.
Why did you phrase it like that?
What do you mean? I mean,
Ryan and I had an adventure at Universal Studios with deaf lesbians for about 10 minutes.
Theme park.
Why would you? What would fucking make you think that that's an acceptable way to phrase that?
Because we were going on the King Kong ride. It was like an adventure.
Yes, there were deaf people in front of us, and Jay tapped them on the shoulder and started talking to them. And
they were lesbians, so it's kind of interesting. It's just something people can't say every day.
It's true.
It's true. That's all.
Tobias for $10. And being a silent protagonist isn't an excuse for bad acting. We've had years of silent films that were amazing. If you can't talk, your body is your mouth, and it needs to emphasize what you can't say. Agreed. I don't blame her a ton for it. I blame whoever decided to cast somebody that was not good. That's the problem.
Ryan's so mad at me.
It's such a stupid way to say that.
That's what,
Ryan's Egyptian ancestor for $20. Ryan was born to rule Kemet, Jay. Now pray to Wepwapet that one day he will take his rightful place as God King. Wepwawet, Wepenwawet.
I hope you take your rightful place.
Dua Iek, Dua Petatek. Wepwapet, Wepemwap, Wep Eb.
What?
I'm reading Egyptian or whatever.
Is it a curse, man? Are you putting a curse on yourself? What's happening?
I was just hoping it wasn't like any slurs. Hold on. You find it. That's what I was trying to say.
Oh. Wep-a-wep.
Wep-wa-wet, wep-en-wa-wet, dua iek, dua peretek, wep-wa-wet, wep-em-wap. It could be I could be saying heinous shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to read this. I think it's Egyptian. Stuff. I think it's Egyptian. Yeah. I don't know. Honest Guardian for Mexican 100.
Wow.
Honest take. It's sad to see that Marvel writers never read a single one of any comics. What kind of clusterfuck the next phase will be? P.S. Disney's trying to get people to see the series to understand. Trying to see the series to understand. Thank you, Honest Guardian.
I think they just have they probably, each character, they just probably have a paragraph summary. That's just what they go off of. Fantastic Four. Make sure they wear a blue shirt with a 4 on their shirt. There you go. Go make a movie. Pretty easy.
We've got some breaking Star Wars news, Jay.
What? No way.
Star Wars video game news.
Oh.
Why'd you sound disappointed?
I don't.
Would regular Star Wars news be better? Like if they announced that they're making a Yaddle series on Disney Plus?
Yeah, I would love that.
Featuring Bryce Dallas Howard as the voice of Yaddle.
I want them to go all in.
So
I need more Raid movie news.
I heard a rumor yesterday that Respawn was doing something related to Star Wars, a first-person game for Star Wars. This is the official announcement here, apparently exclusive from Tom Henderson. Respawn is developing a first-person Star Wars Mandalorian game. Insider Gaming Source revealed Respawn is developing a first-person Star Wars Mandalorian game that's in its early stages of development. According to sources, the game will see the player take control of a Mandalorian bounty hunter, unclear who, so it's not like the Mandalorian necessarily. It's just kind of the art they're using for this. Set during the time when the Galactic Empire is dominating across the galaxy. It's your job as a bounty hunter to capture bounties dead or alive for cash rewards. As first reported by Jeff Grubb, games being led by Respawn creative director Mohammed Alavi, who left the studio to pursue his next adventure. According to Grubb, who didn't disclose the Star Wars game at the time, the game will be focused on mobility and style as guiding principles. Game's high mobility is made possible thanks to the Mandalorian's jetpack, which allows the player to perform horizontal dashing, vertical jumping, boost sliding, blah, blah, blah. Wide variety of weapons, gadgets, wrist rocket, grapple hook, visor for tagging enemies, bounties, and more. Wow, it's weird. It's almost like they did this in 2002 with the Jango Hutt or the Jango Fett bounty hunter game. Like that's really what it sounds like. So
also in Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, you could play the bounty hunter, right? The bounty hunter quest.
You mean that Star Wars: The Old Republic? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, Slow Tour. And like there's you could be a bounty hunter in that. And that was pretty awesome because like they send you on missions to go kill certain people, you know, that they've been looking for. So
yeah, for anybody that hasn't played the Jango Fett bounty hunter game that came out right around the same time as Attack of the Clones, I got it on GameCube when it first came out.
Oh wow.
But that's an awesome game, and that does send you around the galaxy. Yeah. Your missions to find one specific bounty typically for like one big mission, but there's always like 5 or 10 side bounties that you can. Some people want it dead, some people want it alive. You can kind of decide what you want to do based on how much money and credits you want to get from it. It was awesome. I love that game. That takes place obviously, before Attack of the Clones, and it shows how Jango Fett actually ended up meeting Count Dooku and how he was recruited to be the template for the clones, stuff like that. This game sounds like it's going to be an updated version of the gameplay for that, with wrist grapple thing, the rocket backpack, the jetpack, all that stuff. So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens.
Exciting.
You sound thrilled.
I have, yeah. That's so, yeah. Star Wars: The Old Republic is it was so much better. That storyline was so much better. You just might as well just fire that back up. Could you play a Jedi Knight? Sit like all that stuff. Like you played that. I'm sure you put hours into that game. Yeah. So
I mean, obviously that's an MMORPG.
Yeah.
So like very much different than a single player type of story like this will be. But yeah, for sure. I love SWTOR.
Yeah, awesome. Those stories were fantastic there. So
Jay will get to ride a bantha.
I have no interest in playing a Mandalorian game. If you're just gonna go around and shoot people, might as well just play Fortnite as the Mando. That's Mandalorian with Baby Yoda on your side.
Well, I don't think so. Again, it's not confirmed that it's like the Mandalorian.
Sure.
It's a game with a Mandalorian bounty hunter set in the time frame of the reign of the Galactic Empire. So, which is also interesting.
So you probably could get hired by the Empire to go after people. Maybe probably have to go through training. Maybe you can't take your helmet off. All that stuff.
yeah. It's going to be interesting how they negotiate all of that shit, especially after like we clearly just saw like the Empire glassed fucking Mandalore and shit. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting how they explain some of that away.
Yeah, they have messed up Mandalore culture I see someone in the chat just said that Mandalore writer says effed up Mandalore culture so bad. Yeah, that's good luck. You would think a Mando game would have been out by now, before that.
I mean, it takes
But
a while to fucking
I
develop
guess
shit
so.
for sure, but yeah.
Or at least be in the works, something they could talk about, but oh well.
There was something in the works that was supposed to be like a Mandalorian game based on the Mandalorian, like Din Djarin, but I think that fell apart at some point. Anyway,
I don't even think the Lego game came out. But
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maverick Pilgrim for $1. Def Lesbian has to be an 80s metal band.
Yeah,
sounds
pretty
like
cool.
it. Dom H, our man Dom with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Dom.
What's up, Dom?
Zamo, member for 7 months. Freaks going crazy because the backlash about X-Men's morph. Trying to use the card that X-Men's always been about underdogs and diversity. Yeah, well, they specifically changed morph into being identified as non-binary, which I don't know if you remember the 90s. That wasn't a fucking thing anybody talked about.
Non-binary is brand new. So
Neanderthal 2020 for 20 doesn't say anything.
Thank you,
Neanderthal. Bush and Ryucat for 10. Hail Ryan and Jay, or as I say, the hare and the bear. Heard about the dance party last night for the one-legged people? Only song the DJ could play was Crisscross Jump. See the new AI program Sora 199.
I saw that new AI program.
Wasn't there like an ad at the Super Bowl for that? Is that
pretty
one?
wild, man? I don't know when they're officially releasing it, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of YouTubers and stuff that are going to jump on that to make videos for them. Ugh. So some of that stuff looks like you just wonder, like, they're showing the best of the best, right? Like when AI art came out and you're like, holy crap, that looks amazing. How did they get it? And then you try it yourself and it comes out like guy's got like 17 fingers and like it's all like jacked up.
Yeah.
So you just wonder like when how they got it that so realistic. But hey man, I guess if anything, the biggest fear would be like media manipulation, but they've been doing that for long before I was born. So it's just a new way.
Laura Lynn Lance, member for 14 months. Hail 199. Hi, Ryan. I like how retarded you are. Jay, smooches for you. Bless your heart. 14 months in the 199. Wow. Pray for my ex. He was in a car crash today. Wow. Sorry about your ex. That sucks. Hope he's okay. Or she, but I assume he says he was in a car crash today. The Carnivore Trucker, member for 5 months. Ryan, you need to read that Egyptian super chat while wearing your Pharaoh hat. Do it for the clips. I'm good. I already read it twice.
Yeah.
Mike Hill for $20. A first-person Mandalorian bounty hunter game is in the works from Respawn. Thank you, Mike. Your super chat, I think, is what made me go to see that. Actually.
Yeah.
Thank you. Zebra cakey, maybe.
Zebra cakes? You ever had a zebra cake?
I love zebra cakes, dude.
They're the greatest thing, one of the greatest things ever created.
Zebra cakes are the shit. They've gotten a lot smaller over time. Either that or I've gotten bigger since I ate them as a kid. One or the other. What'd you have for dinner last night, Jay?
Last night I had rice with chicken.
Why are you fucking laughing?
Because it's like it took me a minute to remember what the freak I ate for dinner last night.
I had one of my like disgusting McDonald's burritos that I've been making lately.
You're making them?
Yeah, I'm making them. It's such a fucking degenerate thing to do.
Why?
I'm literally ordering. I get from McDonald's. I get some cheeseburgers, some French fries, and a bunch of nuggets. And then I get 2 burritos and lay them side to side, overlap a little bit. And I fucking I cut the burgers in half and like lay them out, get a couple nuggets in there, put a bunch of fries on there. I put ketchup, ranch, and cheese sauce on top.
Sounds like a meal for a king.
I wrap it up in a big burrito.
At that.
Bro, I wrap it up in this massive burrito and I eat it and I feel terrible about myself the entire time, but it tastes so fucking good.
Sounds like what a pharaoh king would eat, man.
It's
I gotta try that. What the
It
heck?
is amazing.
I gotta try that.
I saw an
That
Instagram
sounds
reel.
awesome.
I saw an Instagram reel with somebody doing it. I was like, I have to try that. It tastes fucking amazing.
That sounds awesome. I might need that recipe. So
I just gave it to you.
I'm gonna forget. I need it written down. I gotta order it right.
Go get some cheeseburgers. Get a bunch of McNuggets. Get a bunch of French fries. Get a couple burritos. Fucking throw them all in there together. Wrap that shit up.
Sounds good.
It is.
Matt, that could be tonight's meal. We'll see. I usually boil like a big pot of rice, and it lasts for like 2 days, 3 days.
I'm telling you,
just in the air fryer, just throw in like chicken breast or like shrimp or fish or whatever, and then that's it. Pretty boring over here. That's all.
I mean, I have a bunch of so I get stuff shipped to me from Factor, which I actually really like that stuff. Which are like those 2-minute microwavable pre-made shit, not frozen, just you keep them in the fridge.
I know Factor, yeah.
And I actually love that shit.
Yeah.
And the majority of my meals are that. But every once in a while, it's like, man, I just really want to eat something disgusting. So, and I love McDonald's. It's S tier for us, you know.
It's S tier, baby. I think I might throw in the fish fillet in that.
Never start a cooking channel? No, what are you talking about? The coconut? That everybody in chat right now, even the ones that are saying, "Oh, I can't believe so many," all you motherfuckers would love that shit if you ate it.
Yeah.
I fucking know you would. Unless you're one of those people that really eats so fucking healthy that as soon as you touch something that's a little unhealthy, it really fucks up your entire stomach, your entire system. Unless you're one of those people, you would fucking love what I made the other night. You'd hate yourself for eating it, but you'd love it.
That's all right. You gotta live every now and then. That sounds good, man.
Oh, it's amazing. Anyway, Zebra Keiki for 5. Put a Nigerian songwriter in it and make her lame and gay. That's right. What were you gonna say, Jay?
I was gonna bring up the Tiki Room mug controversy.
Yeah, let's do
it. I'm trying not to cough here, but Ryan, there's a big controversy going on at Disney for cultural appropriation. Apparently, Disney cancels Shag Enchanted Tiki Room mug due to cultural appropriation. I don't know who they're offending with this mug. I don't know, because they have an entire Tiki Room that's filled with images like this that actually talk to you during the show. They have those.
There's a song that's right in the Tiki room.
Classic. It's like old. It's like one of the oldest rides there. Or it's not a ride, it's an experience. The little birds come out and sing, and then they have these things on the wall, and they sing to you as well. They also have an entire resort called the Polynesian that is filled with these type of things. But they decided that this mug is not good, and they don't want to sell it because I guess people are going to get upset. My question is, I think the Tiki Room will probably be done next. They'll probably just gut that thing. And they're going to change the Polynesian hotel room to Moana. And that'll be the end of that. That way, no one is offended. They've already changed the Jungle Cruise.
Isn't that shit like what I don't understand is if you're just doing shit that's supposed to be, aren't they proud of that? Aren't they proud of doing things that represent other cultures and things like that? Like when they did Coco, were they talking about how proud they were to have like some Mexican heritage shit in this, very successful movie? So isn't that like what they're supposed to be doing? Exposing people to other cultures, giving them these experiences. But now this is just apparently, who is this offending? Do people actually look like that? Are there some wood people who are upset that they're being represented that way?
I don't know. Maybe the Rock's upset. I don't know. But apparently, so like the Jungle Cruise that's been around and Gary in the chat said they changed pirates as well. That's correct. The Jungle Cruise has been around since since Disney opened. They used to have
Trader Sam, right?
Trader Sam was in there. He'd sell shrunken heads, and they also had what they called headhunters. You got to be careful of the headhunters that could come after you. Well, just a few years ago, someone cried and complained on TikTok, and they decided to shut down the entire ride and change it. So they did the same thing with Pirates of the Caribbean, where you could buy the redhead. The pirates were trying to buy the beautiful redhead, while they were selling off the women after they took over the town. Well, they had to change that too, because I don't know if you remember that ride, but there was a fat woman that they were trying to sell to the pirates, and they were like, "Oh, get that thing out of here. We want the redhead. Like, bring on the redhead." So now the fat woman holds chickens in her hands, and they're trying to sell the chickens, and the redhead is now like the pirate, and she says, "Man, we want the rum. We don't want the chickens." So now they're changing this, and it looks like they're probably going to get rid of the Walt Disney's, one of his, of course, according to him, God rest his soul, tiki room. So they'll just probably gut that out. So
people are saying that the one on the right looks like me and the one on the left looks like you.
I could see that. It's the same cup. They just, you just twist it. So
I think it's one because one is smiling and one's not. I think that's really the only reason people are saying
maybe.
That.
But it's like it's sad that a company like this, once you go down this road where everything is offensive, eventually, like, you won't be able to have anything. You won't be able to have anything. You won't be able to, like, laugh at anything. You won't be able to just enjoy anything, because everything will be offensive.
Like, should they shut all of Epcot down? Because isn't Epcot like you walk around to different worlds and cultures and eat their food and shit? They even dress like them.
Correct. But they find it like I think they feel they can get away with it because they actually hire people from the actual countries. So to work in China, you've got to be from China.
Really?
So yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So what they do, this is how they save money over there at Epcot. They send out these videos, and the videos are hilarious, where it's like, you can work in America. You can be a part of the Disney Corporation. So Disney will give them a 1-year work visa and a place to live, right? There's like all this housing stuff. So, but you got to be from that specific country. So they have like the Italy pavilion and all that stuff. So if you're from Italy and you want to come to America for a year and work for Disney for a year and live in their apartment, you could sign up and they'll ship you out. And you could work there for an entire year and stay there and get the entire American experience. So it's I don't think they even pay you. They pay you very, very little. Someone can correct me in the chat, but the people that we've talked to, it's because they're taking care of your housing, and you get a food allowance, and you get all this other stuff that the pay is very, very, very small. So
yeah, I mean, that kind of makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. So that's how they do that. But again, like there's a constant thing going on where they're just gonna keep canceling stuff. I don't know. First of all, I don't know how many people would buy this, number one, but it's just
I would fucking drink a fancy ass drink out of it or something. I don't know if I'd buy the cup.
With a giant umbrella, right? Like hard liquor. But yeah. That's it.
That'd be like a fruity thing, like pineapple or fucking mango or whatever, obviously. But if you're going to like the Polynesian, I could see drinking something like that.
Yeah, it's just, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it starts with the cups, Then they canceled a shirt. It's so stupid. They had a shirt, a button-down shirt, I guess that was green lit, that had the same little tiki gods on it, and then Disney cancels that, and they're like, "Yeah, we offended some people, so we don't want to sell it anymore." So those shirts ended up in like some third world country, for poor people to wear, because I guess that's okay. And so then they altered that for the Polynesian. So it's like they might as well just change the entire, like, if they're gonna do it, they might as well just change everything. Just make it boring. Gray. They might as well just paint everything gray. That's it. Nothing else.
Make it lame and gay. Well, speaking of Disney's hiring practices, looks like they might be in a little bit of trouble, because something we've known about for a long time, something that Disney and a lot of other people in Hollywood have been pushing for, it's really not about hiring people that are good at their jobs or competent or qualified. Instead, what's way more important, both in front of the camera and behind, is the color of your skin, who you want to fuck, what your genitals are, all of these different things. And it looks like Disney might finally be getting a little bit of pushback for that. Disney hit with federal civil rights complaint over DEI, alleges discrimination against white men, Christians, and Jews. And of course, this is all happening in large part because Elon Musk decided to bring some attention to it. It's all about this, the inclusion standards for who they're hiring, who they have to hire to get something done at Disney. These are the wickets. These are the check marks you have to tick off in the diversity, equity, and inclusion box. And this is something we knew about a while ago. Yeah. Even this thing was not like this was not some great uncovering of something. This was very
wasn't
public.
A secret.
This was not a secret. This is out there years ago. But now Elon Musk, brought a lot of attention to it. And now it's leading to an actual lawsuit being filed. The Walt Disney Company's been hit with a federal civil rights complaint alleging the company's DEI policies are unlawful and discriminate against white American men, Christians, and Jews. America First Legal filed the complaint against Disney on Wednesday. The group cited publicly available documents published on Disney's official sites, as well as leaked internal documents showing how executives have made diversity, equity, and inclusion a central part of Disney's hiring practices. And it goes on. This is the second lawsuit in the past, I don't know, week or two that's been about, treating people differently. Obviously, we know Gina Carano has her lawsuit that you've covered a lot on your channel, Jay. But this is bullshit. If you were to flip things around and Disney was to go out and make an announcement and say, hey, you know what? We know there's a lot of qualified Black women out there for these roles, but really, we're going to hire just white men because we want more white men working at Disney. Could you imagine the fucking outrage that would happen if that was what Disney's goal was? But instead, because it's the opposite, there's no problem with that. At the end of the day, I think virtually everyone is fine with hiring people who are the most qualified for the job, period, regardless of their color or gender or sexuality or whatever. But Disney's now finally getting a little bit of pushback for this, potentially in court.
Oh my gosh, man! If they did like the reverse, like you said, like people would want to burn it down. Like there would probably be protests and probably try to burn it down. Not surprising. Stuff's coming back, to bite him right in the butt. Bob Iger definitely he's probably taking headache medicine like every day for migraines. He's got lawsuits after lawsuits. He's got one of the most powerful men in the world, whether you like him or not, Elon Musk, tweeting stuff like these nuts and putting it on his pinned post, putting stuff out there that they probably didn't want to have to deal with. But I mean, you do it to yourself, man. They lost the lawsuit in Florida got thrown out that they were trying to I guess reverse, and so that they lost that one as well. I mean, it's just and then they were in the middle of a proxy war, so the vote went out. I wonder how that vote's going to work. I wonder if people are going to get pelts on the board now and see how that goes.
It's going to be interesting. I think their last quarterly earnings report certainly helped them. They did what they wanted to distract from all the problems and instead make a bunch of announcements about things that could potentially happen in the future. Hey, look at all these things we're investing in, blah, blah, blah. I don't know how it goes for people, how they feel about it long term, but I think short term it certainly helped. But man, it has been a bad couple of days for Bob Iger between that video coming out about him talking about January 6th to now this. And things just continue to get worse for Disney.
Well said. It's what do you say after that? It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. How did I end up on this side? I don't know how that worked.
I switched us so people could compare us to the Tiki thing.
Oh, the Tikis. Yeah. No, it's just you wondered when all this stuff was going to happen. I think like yourself, Gary, and a few others had called this. Like eventually, it's just going to turn around and bite them, and it's looks like it's biting them pretty hard. I wonder if people are going to come out of the woodwork too and just say, "Hey, I was qualified, but they didn't hire me because I was white." And just start, pushing lawsuits like that. It wouldn't surprise me if someone would take a chance. I mean, the evidence is right there. It's like, don't hire them, hire these people instead. So, and I guess we'll have to see what happens with these lawsuits.
Failed Tasmagoria for 20. Next on the chopping block, Epcot for cultural appropriation. Yeah, probably. David Smart for 5. I also want to ask what your favorite horror movie of all time is. My favorite genre is horror. I love Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street.
My favorite horror film of all time? Probably Aliens. Alien or Aliens. Does that count?
I don't like fucking horror movies, man.
I don't either. I don't watch too many of them, but like, I would say like Aliens. Does that count as a horror film or sci-fi? I don't know. It scared me. Pretty gross.
I think that would be fine. To me, like
if he's talking slasher films, then I gotta go with Friday the 13th.
I was just gonna say, to me, I think that I've liked Friday the 13th a little more than Halloween, but
yeah,
I don't know. You know what movie fucked me up more than any others was The Ring.
The Ring.
When I watched that movie, that came out, I was like middle school, maybe early high school. That movie scared the living fuck out of me. It was, I don't know why. It just creeped me the fuck out to the point where I had nightmares about it every day. That 7 days and that fucking bitch that crawls out of the TV with the hair in the bottom of the well. Yeah, I for some reason I hated that movie.
Mine was I think me and my brother like snuck on the cable and watched The Exorcist, and that was not good.
No.
That was like not, especially coming from like a heavy religious family, you know, and then you end up watching The Exorcist and it's like, oh my God, throw out everything in the house. I don't want that to happen to me.
Lower lips liquor, bro, for 5. If they want a female Herald, why not just bring out Stardust or Nova, Frankie Ray? I don't fucking know. Benology for 2. Look at these 2 handsome lads. F Disney. Hey, Benology in the chat. Well, thank you, Ben. 6 foot Sokka for 199. Taking a nice dump was better than watching Echo. Head.
Did you see any episodes of Echo?
I saw the entire thing. Yeah.
Oh.
Head for $5. I'd rather hear law analysis from Forrest Gump. Thanks. Orangutan for 199. Deaf Lesbian, one of my favorite bands. Gig 'em ×2. My cock small for 2. Do deaf lesbians sound like Tuscan Raiders in bed? Probably. What's so funny about that?
I thought you were gonna do it.
No, I was waiting for you. The Angry Badger for 199. Jay has big Eeyore vibes. Hail the 199. Love you, Jay.
I'm not sad. Life is good.
Angry Badger for 199. Jedi Knight class questline is KOTOR 3 for better or worse. I agree. It's what I've always told people, even though they get mad at me. McCawk for 2. Hey, Ray, what is your top 3 Pokemon games? I think you're talking to me.
I never played them except Pokemon Go.
My favorite is probably Pokemon Yellow, to be honest. I probably that, even though it's probably not the best, I do my favorite. Silver would probably be next, or Soul Silver if you want to do like the remakes. And then I guess my other one, I spent a lot of time on Pokemon Black and White. That'd probably be my top.
Did you like
3.
Pokemon Go?
I love Pokemon Go. I loved it.
Right?
Yeah, it was fun as fuck.
You wouldn't consider that like a top?
I wouldn't. That's not a Pokemon game. That's a fucking mobile game.
Okay.
That doesn't count.
Gotcha.
At least not to me. That would be like putting a Star Wars mobile game in your top Star Wars.
Oh, I gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I played a lot of Pokemon Go when that shit first came out. An embarrassing amount. Do you
like get in the car and like travel to like the other stations and stuff? And
yeah, I had a group. I had a group of buddies. We'd like get off work and fucking like go like some random place and fucking take over gyms and shit. It was so gay, but I had a lot of fun doing it. SBZ for 5. Now, Jay, please say this in ASMR. Hold on.
How do you say in ASMR? I know that when you see Madam Web, you're going to love it. In fact, I think you're going to see it twice. Did that help?
Sounds good.
I have no interest in seeing that movie whatsoever.
Jay, you super duper sure you don't want to guess what Josh Brolin might write about Chris Hemsworth in his journal while listening to Tay-Tay?
Not one bit. No, I don't want to know.
You want to read this?
Jay, my knee grow.
Thank
for
you,
199.
The Hulkster. Sir Hat for 2. Ryan, need to make a video of that burrito. Maybe. Just to
You
shut all you guys up. Andrew CR. Ryan invented the bro Rito. Thank you. Stone Cold Steve Austin. White Lives Matter. White Man Magic. Thank you. Tobias for 2. Zootopia is Jeremy's true horror movie. It's a lot of people's true horror movie. Copeside Phil for 5. Suicide Squad reached a new low. Only 897 playing, while 2.6 people playing night. Mission failed. We'll get him next time. Damn. That's brutal. Well, Jay, here we are again. Another daily in the books. Tobias said Pokemon Crystal is my favorite because it changed up the idea of going after legendaries, making them a real part of the story. Hey, very cool.
Yeah, it's done. I leave tomorrow to head to Vancouver. So we'll see how the Vancouver Fan Expo is going to be for a couple days. And then I'll be back. And then you guys are heading to Vegas that next month.
Yeah,
no,
I mean, that's
April,
that's
right?
like 2 months
April.
from now. Yeah,
2
that's
months.
a while. That's a while ago.
So all of us are doing a little bit of traveling then this year.
I suppose. You got anything coming up or just that?
No, after this I'm just gonna pack and then head on over to Vancouver, then get back, and then March we're gonna be in Richmond, and April I think we're going back to Canada. So
gross.
And then you're leaving to go to Vegas in early. Was that early April? Is the
yeah?
Vegas
It's like
meetup?
the first full week of April, like April 10th and 11th. I think of the meetup days. So
that's gonna be cool. You'll have a good time. You like Vegas?
Yeah. I like Vegas. Sometimes Vegas doesn't like me.
That's
sometimes bad things happen, but I think it'll be a good time. So, but yes, that's gonna be it. I'm gonna make some videos. I haven't watched Madam Web yet. Gary is probably mad at me in the chat. I'm going to watch it in 45 minutes. So I'll get back before FNT starts. So I'll actually be able to talk about Madam Web. Can't wait. But all right. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. We appreciate it wherever you're watching, over there on Rumble or over here on YouTube. We appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you next week. Peace.